I'm so excited for this meditation. I can't tell you the resistance to going live still. I find it incredibly nerve-wracking. I always think, should I just do Zoom, do a recording? I can edit the heck out of it. But I'm going to keep doing these lives until I kind of love them. But I am really excited about this meditation ahead. What I really love about delving into different cultures and mystic practices and the metaphysical is that there are often a lot of crossovers, aren't there? And they all tend to operate in similar ways when it comes to the senses. They will use the senses as a gateway or a portal because they have this understanding that all possibilities exist simultaneously. And what I love is that we don't have to know those traditions. I was just jotted a few down this morning when I was preparing this, that the Tibetan monks use senses as gateways. The Sufi mystics use something called the imaginal realm using the senses. The indigenous Australians called it dream time. And what I really, really love is that we don't have to be intimately acquainted with these traditions to feel the truth of them in our body. We know that we can start moving towards a life that really excites us by just tuning into what we feel when we think of that life. And I got to thinking of, I'm not acquainted so much with all of those traditions that I mentioned, but what I am acquainted with because of my life is the Bible. And so I was just kind of jotting down, because sometimes we tend to think of the Bible as a kind of for me, it was a very mind-oriented thing. And yet when I started noting down, goodness me, the amount of things in the Bible that were actually very, very somatic and very, I suspect, more about changing internal states and internal terrain as much as anything, using the senses. So when we think of the incense, we talk about a sensory portal. The anointing oils, we might call to mind, I call to mind Psalms 133. When we think of the oil dripping down Aaron's beard, we think of Mary anointing the feet of Jesus with expensive nard oil. What an enriching sensory experience that was. Then the Psalms, of course, they weren't read. They were sung, they were chanted. The cadence of the poetry would have been felt. Talk about somatic regulation when you read the Psalms. Prophetic visioning was all about coming into the intuition, the inner eye, and seeing through the intuition, the inner eye, intuitive insight. And then 5, I got fasting and feasting, different states again. We might fast to clear out the body and have more clarity. Then the sumptuousness of a feast and all of the senses involved in that, and the communion and the being with your family and togetherness. Again, real sensory elements that I'd not really tuned into before until I was preparing this meditation. And then, of course, the tabernacle. When you think of the candlelight, the rich velvet curtains, the bells on the priest's garb, it's the incense. So many sensory somatic elements, and that's why I love NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, because it's all about changing inner states, anchoring into what we want to feel more of using the senses. And I love that. So that's what we're going to do a meditation on today. And I'm actually doing this every day at the moment because it just feels so good. I just love it so much. So I'm just going to ask you to take a moment to think about what you would like to experience more of in the days to come, perhaps between now and the end of the year. Let's make it specific. You can play around with this in the weeks and the months to come. You might I know there's a Dolores Cannon does a wonderful meditation that I've done many times in recent years, where she will invite you to walk through a door perhaps in 3 years' time or 5 years' time. But let's for now just go for what you would like to experience more of between now and the end of the year. I'll just give you a moment. You might even want to light a candle while you ponder on that. Some incense. Let's get the sensory action going. That's what excites me. What would you like to experience more of between now and the end of the year? Oh, I'm just saying hi, kiddo. Hey, Jen. And then when it feels good, just kind of shut down your eyes. We can just return to this moment. You might even call back your energy from where it's been scattered thus far today. You might see little fireflies returning to you with the energy from your phone or your computer. Conversations, emails, to-do lists, demands. You can just kind of call them all back, call all of your energy back to this moment, and just marking these next few minutes as really sacred for yourself. And then let's just do, and you can play with this in your own personal meditations. You can do this for longer, but for here, we're just going to do 3 lots of breathing, and we're going to inhale for 4, hold for 5, and then exhale for 8. And we're just going to do that 3 times. So we're going to inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice long exhale for 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then inhale for 4, 2, 3. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice long slow exhale for 8. And then final round, inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 1. And a nice long slow sigh out. You can even make it audible. Oh. And if it helps, you can imagine yourself in your favorite place, your favorite little happy place. Maybe that's your bed. Maybe it's the beach, the forest, a woodland, wherever is your favorite, underneath a particular tree. Just place yourself there, and you can call in the sensory elements that you find joy in these places. And now let's take that thing that you chose that you would like to experience more of between now and the end of the year. And we're just going to delve into that in a very delicious way using our senses. So let's start with our sight. As you're seeing that thing in your reality, what are you seeing? And it might be that you see a particular day go in a kind of clockwork order, or it might be that you just have little kind of photographic stills. What are you seeing? Maybe for someone here that they would like to experience Christmas Day in a rather more different way. the normal, or maybe it's an experience that extends longer than a day. But what are you seeing? What's the visuals on that reality you're inviting in to your experience? Now let's invite in the olfactory experience, the sense of smell. What's the smell of your chosen experience? How does it smell? I'm smelling all of the festive smells, cinnamon and orange and nutmeg. What are you smelling? And then when you ponder on what you would be hearing, what is the sound of this thing you are inviting in between now and the end of the year? What does it sound like? What are you hearing? Maybe it's a particular music or certain voices. Maybe it's silence. Maybe it's silence after snowfall. Mm. And then what are you feeling? What's the feeling? And that might be your emotions, and but you can also call in the felt sense. You know, what are you feeling between your fingers, or what are you sat upon, or what's beneath your feet? What's the feeling is? It's a real kind of hot, wide open, expansive feeling, or like kind of a calm. Maybe you feel the evergreens that we bring into our homes for Yule underneath your fingertips, the ivy and the pine and the holly. What's the feelings, folks? And if your mind starts to wander at any point, that's absolutely fine. You can just gently tug it back. You can bring in a sense of the moment, listening to the sound of your breath or feeling your fingertips. And then finally, well, no, not so finally, second two, we're going to go to a sense of taste. What are you tasting in this experience that you're inviting in? If it's over a period of longer than a day, what's some of the things that you will be enjoying? The gustatory pleasures. A little pot of something nice or warming drinks. Maybe it's kisses. What's the taste? And then finally, what is the intuitive sense of what your next step might be in order to bring this experience that you're calling in a step closer to you? What's the intuitive sense of what your next step might be? It might be a big, bold move. It might be something so seemingly small. And this will, in my experience, comes as a whisper. So fleeting. It's like a little knowing, oh, I must rest more, or I'm gonna reach out to so and so, or and if there's only silence there, that's more than okay. Now that we've posed that question, you will receive something in the hours or days to come. There'll be a little knowing. What do I need to do to create more of what I want between now and the end of the year? You can take a nice big deep breath in. You can smile knowing that you've shown up for yourself today and you've taken the time out to just go within a little bit and use the profound power of the senses to really know what is possible for ourselves. So you can open your eyes when you're ready. And I've lost my wand. Oh, here it is. I'm going to waft my magic wand and whatever it is you're all calling in. You can do this at the moment. I'm doing this daily. I'll do kind of like 5 to 10 minutes of breath work. You can even watch a YouTube video to do some breath work. You can just kind of to get yourself into that really kind of settled state. You can just kind of do something like that, and then I'll spend 10 minutes just running through all of the senses and what it is that I'm inviting in. And what I love about this is that the more we do meditations that or kind of really focus on our senses, it can even just be kind of sat there, feeling a crystal between our fingertips for 30 seconds, or gazing on a candle for 30 seconds to a minute, just kind of tuning into one of our senses. What I love about that is that it really helps us in our daily life to be more present with the abject miracle. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional at being alive and the beauty. I'm looking at the watery winter dappled light on my wall at the moment, and just the miracle of that. So the more that we do these kind of things, we're kind of anchoring into the senses more and more. And I just think that that's that can only be a beautiful thing. So, blow out the candle. And wish you a magical rest of day wherever you are. Thank you for joining me. And please, I'm going to post this out later on Substack. But yeah, bless you. Thank you. And go be the magic. Bye, folks.